Yes, here we go. It is time for Ask the Bus. I'm doing quite a few more solo shows, I think, this coming year or so. Just a wee 20-25 minutes. It suits me fine. I was thinking of a new wee theory, actually, earlier on. I was thinking about this for a wee idea for a show. Because it's kind of what I do when I'm going on my own, is I just kind of browse the blogs. I thought that sounds quite catchy. So I was thinking we could maybe, like, I don't know, do I know how to do this shit? Let's have a look. See if I can share the screen. If I'll do it another time, I can't be asked trying it when I'm live. But I was thinking, like, just going to, like, Celtic News Now, good people, and then just go through the articles and sort of give feedback on some of the headlines, maybe read some. I don't know. I thought it sounded quite fun. Just bouncing ideas off, my webcam and a screen, and apparently people are watching. It's all good, all fun and games. Welcome aboard the bus. Remember, do all that good stuff. Give us a like, give us a share, buy some hair, all that carry on. Remember as well, if you want to become a Bhoycie Bus member, it's $1.99 a month. Content's always going to be free, so don't worry if you don't want to do that. It just helps keep the wheels on the road. Of course, as well, remember, if you've not hit subscribe, why the fuck not? Hit subscribe. Get on that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, remember, hit the bell, and it means you never miss a bus. And the buses, as I say, this season, they'll be sporadic in nature, but not in terms of volume. I think I'm feeling a wee bit more motivated to try and make a bit of an effort this year. So I suppose maybe with the shorter formats and the fact I can just do it when I feel like it will probably suit me a wee bit better. So you'll probably still get, I'm going to guess, 5-6 shows a week. It just, who knows when. So yeah, make sure you hit that bell, and that means you won't miss any. Right, okay, what's been happening? Remember as well, use the hashtag #AskTheBus, and it means any quotes you've got, questions you've got, quotes, any questions you've got, get them into Bhoycie, and I will deal with them. Hopefully Celtic related. If you want to ask me how the pyramids got built, I don't know. Right, okay. Shaun Maloney returns to Celtic. So, as the headline says, are you excited by this move, or is this old pals act? Again, I'll give you my take on it, and I'm looking out for the comments to get a wee bit lively on this one, because I'm sure there'll be various takes on it. I think it's unimaginative in nature in terms of ex-Celtic player rejoining the pack. However, I cast your minds back to the summer of 2021 when we were looking for a new manager before we knew Ange Postecoglou was going to get the job, because that kind of came abruptly. And there was a lot of talk at the time, if you remember. I'm calling these wires, man. There's a lot of talk at the time of whether Shaun Maloney would be just maybe, would be a good fit with a sort of senior person above him. A bit like what they wanted to do with Lenny, if you remember back in 2010. They wanted to bring in the Finland manager, Stuart Baxter, as a sort of like overseeing it all. And Lenny would have been the young up-and-coming manager. Shaun Maloney, what is he now? 1983, date of Boyce, remember? 1983, he was Boyce, was 37? No, fuck, 37. He was 37 in 2020. Fucking hell, be 42. 41, 42, fucking hell. But he's got management experience, obviously, with the High Bees, and then he was at Wigan Athletic as well. Don't think it went amazing at Wigan, albeit it was given like 2 years, so it couldn't have been that bad. And then towards the end, obviously, it's came to an end. But I think to get someone to come in for what is the this role, I'm going to try and find the role, man. Where is it? Because he's by joining in this role. I mean, it seems in terms of the job title, it feels to me like, I don't know, if you were being a manager of your own right for the last like the last 4 years or whatever it was. I don't know how big the gap was between his spell at Hibs and Wigan. It seems to me like going back into like the youth development and pathway managers, like youth and pathways, something like that. I struggle with that because from his point of view, does that reek of ambition? I'm not sure. But for us to get someone with the management experience he does, and bear in mind his coaching career up till then as well, he had been working with Martinez and Thierry Henry with Belgium for years. I think he was there for about 2-3 years. So he's worked with the best players, and then he said he's found his feet in management with a team like Hibs, where he tried to implement a style. Hibs didn't give him time. You know, they gave David Gray time, but they didn't give Shaun Maloney time. Obviously, the David Gray thing worked, but why couldn't that have worked for Shaun Maloney a few years ago? I ask you that question. Bizarre, but at least they've learned from that mistake of bringing in someone to implement change and then not giving them the time to implement said changes. Never makes sense to me, stuff like that. What I will say though is, we're working for world-class players, then doing the SPFL, and then to do League One in England. It's a broad horizon of coaching he's got there. Decent CV built up. If he was coming in, I'll be honest, if he was coming in to be Rodgers' new assistant coach alongside John Kennedy or something like that, or maybe John Kennedy tries the management thing, I'm quite excited by that. Youth and Pathways has left me a bit confused because I don't know, am I right or wrong? Is he overqualified for this? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he is or not. I mean, are you going to get longevity out of that? Or is Shaun Maloney here till the opportunity arises? This him sort of putting himself in the shop window again in Scotland, potentially looking at maybe getting, I don't know what sort of job, but let's say mid-level championship job, an ambitious, say Scott Brown was to leave Ayr or Lenny was to leave Dunfermline, those sort of jobs. Is he trying to maybe get in the shop window for those? And of course, it was interesting. It was on the Video Celts blog. I've got it in front of me now. And they were saying it's Paul Tisdale's first time he spoke. Since Tisdale was appointed at Celtic, we've signed Kieran Tierney, Jota, Ross Duan, and Isaac English, not forgetting, of course, Jeffrey Schlupp on loan. This afternoon, Celtic announced the appointment of Shaun Maloney as a professional player pathway manager. That's what it is. It's not youth, nothing to do with youth. Professional player pathway manager. But if it's pathway, then that does involve youth. They've just not got youth in the job title. Do you know what I mean? But Tisdale spoke out. He said he's delighted. We've been able to bring Shaun back to the club in this role. He'll be tasked with developing the internal and external processes necessary to ensure that we optimise the talents of our young players. Through his experience and knowledge, we believe Shaun will add significant value to the role. I don't doubt it. I think you could do really well for us, to be honest with you, in that role. If it's got longevity, that's the only thing that I don't. Do you know what? I was going to say, I don't understand how you could become a manager and then turn off it like that to become, sort of, going back to developing players, albeit for Celtic's first teams is a massive honour and things like that. But when you've been a manager on your own, usually, even if you remember, Kilmarnock had, it sounds like I'm going off on a tangent. I am. I think they had, what was his name? The big Italian guy, but he'd been like Conte's assistant and stuff like that. But the draw of standing on your own 2 feet and becoming a manager in your own right was too much of a lure for him, and he ended up at Kilmarnock, and he'd been like, I think he's a Conte's assistant at, was it Inter? I want to say Inter, but things like that I look at, and of course the role, as Ali's bringing up here. Great to have you back on the bus, Ali. He said, how long did Darren O'Day get in a similar position? I don't know, what did he do, a couple of years? But interesting, Ali. Interesting, Ali. I don't put on aftershave for the pod, by the way. It's just, I don't know why. I don't actually know why it's at my desk, to be honest with you. I don't think this lid fits it. Lid from a 2-stripe version or something. But Ali's saying how long did Darren O'Day? I think it was about 2 years. But interestingly, Ali, Darren O'Day chose to leave that role to become one of the coaching team in the Championship in England. I think it's Swansea he went to. I could be wrong there. So Maloney leaving, being a manager in his own right, to do that role just leaves a few questions in my mind. But albeit, if he's there for 2 years like Darren O'Day was, I think Maloney could do a good job for us in that role. Hello. Hopefully you can hear me now. Unbelievably, I get the new Wi-Fi. It's been unbelievable. And then you go into doing podcasts and it just goes all Pete Tong. It goes Pete Tong all over again, man. Unreal. Anyway, sorry about that. Hopefully you can all hear me now. And yeah, I mean, O'Day's chose to leave. Graham Terrell says, and you're absolutely right. Of course he chose to leave, and that's what's confusing me a wee bit with that one. But good luck to him. He's got a decent reputation as a coach. I think that's what drawn Hibs to him in the first place. Obviously, Wigan had his spell as a player there, so he obviously had that working in his favour when he was getting the job. But they stuck with him for 2 years. And as I say, he worked under Martinez at Belgium for a considerable length of time. So listen, let's see how he gets on. Of course, time will tell. But I am surprised that he's going for a job at that point. Darren O'Day, he was only a year, Michelle says. What do I know, Michelle? I've got a clue, man. What I'm talking about. What else are you saying to it? Shin Yamada from Kawasaki from Italia, rumoured heavily to be our new forward. What's your opinion on him? His stats look decent. I had the Seltzer here on earlier. Oh, brilliant. And I was interested in a J-League journalist on. He's not convinced he's ready yet, but which is right to point out, Michelle. He's saying like the nature of the beast though is now that agents are pushing players into thinking that they're ready to leave Japan for the bigger leagues, maybe ahead of schedule, just purely to fill their pockets in reality. I think he said it a lot politer than that. I think he said about profits, margins, balances, making money and stuff. But it's really just to line their pockets, and then they don't care about the career as much. I think the career trajectory they care about, but what they're actually going to achieve at those clubs, I'm not sure how invested agents are. The money is out of control in football for agents, and I think it looks to me like what have been pitched to Celtic will have been something along the lines of, this guy's red hot in Japan right now. You know what happens with red hot young players in Japan. They go on to be shit hot for you. I think we've got examples where that's not the case as much as what we do, if I'm honest with you. I think Kyogo, Maeda, Hatate are absolute stars for us. Kobayashi, Iwata, Ideguchi. Nah, mate, not having it. So I am intrigued by it. We definitely need another forward. I think the Fitzgarden rumours, if I hear any more of them, honestly, one more summer of them, I can't have bought with it. So if it's going to be Yamada or Yarmada, Scream Terrell is putting in the comments, then I don't know. I mean, his stats look good right now. What do we make of that league realistically? See, I think it's easy to get carried away with the success stories that we've had for Japan, but I think when we looked at the levels, like Kobayashi was meant to be, coming in to take a jersey at Celtic. I mean, he was miles off it. He wasn't fit for the bench. I think we've had players from the K League that have came in that we were expecting similar sort of vibes from. And to me, O was the best of the lot, and I thought he was pish, as I said yesterday. So the K and the J League for me, They're not the most fashionable leagues. They're not the highest rated leagues in the world. Don't let Postecoglou fool you that it's the most, glittering prize ever winning the J League with the favourites for the tournament and that, or for the favourites for that title. It's all right standard. You're going to get the odd gem, and I think when I look at it, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's the road. I think we'll have as much success in as what we had initially in that league. Just looking at the comments here, Graham Terrell. If we don't sign a striker but wingers instead, are we all happy with Maeda, Ida, and Osmond? I'd be interested to see how they use Osmond. Obviously, he's only played Premier League 2, I think, for Fulham. I mean, I liked what I seen from him on the old YouTube clips, but I like them all on the YouTube clips, to be perfectly honest with you. So there's no surprise there. But notwithstanding that, if Celtic do think he can make an impact in the first team, it would be Maeda, Ida, Osmond, and Johnny Kenny. That's you up to 4. But the reality is, who's your number 1? Who's your number 2? Is it Maeda's going to start up front? Is that why we're going to be bringing in Nigrin? I've been told he's pronounced, so thank you very much to the viewer who corrected me on that. I can't remember your name right now. It's your tagline on it, but anyway, I appreciate it, man. You kept me in the loop with that one in the comments after last night's show. But with Nigrin arriving, potentially another winger, I'd like to see Maeda. I'll be honest with you, up top. I think he works for me as the number 1 striker. I know we missed in the cup final and stuff. I think he was, say it quietly, I think Maeda was knackered. I think he was actually tired for the first time in his life. And therefore, his finish was such. Michelle, I mean, did we think O was ready? I mean, he's not Japanese. Yeah, I was just talking about the Asian leagues in general, the J and the K League. I mean, he's not Japanese. Look at him now, 500 offering 10 million from him, and Genk turned him down. I mean, I've seen that. I mean, nothing's going to convince me, though, that the O should have been signed for Celtic. The O joined us for £2.1 million, I think it was. We sold him for about 3 million. He got the odd goal here and there. I think he missed the penalty. I wasn't impressed with him. I don't think the manager was either, to be honest with you. He didn't get many chances. He struck me as a huge downgrade from the guy we were talking about last night, funnily enough, Giacomakis. I thought it was a massive step down in quality. I'm just not sure about these leagues in Asia, how much talent rich it's going to be, or whether the gems will be, maybe we'll look back in 10 years ago, how the fuck did we manage to get Hatate, Maeda, and Kyogo in the space of like 2 windows, the first 2 windows of Angie's reign from that league? Because what we've seen since then hasn't been up to it. I know Latas had a good season at League One for Birmingham. See, if League One in England's the level we want to sign players from, you go Tonto. So let's not use that as a reference point that this guy's was up to much, because he wasn't up to much for Celtic. Neat and tidy. See, when they get described as neat and tidy, it's because they're doing fuck all. I've noticed that as well. David Scullion, don't know if it's been asked, do we sell Nicholas Kuhn or keep him for another season? Geez, it's all we spoke about last night and last Thursday. David, to be honest with you, mate, in my opinion, I think it would need to be nearer that 20 million mark to sell a guy with 36 goal contributions. But thanks very much for your question, because I think a lot of the fans are split on that one. Craig White, CIC comes in. It's happening. Do you think the Miovski links are a load of shit? I've got no strong opinion on whether the links are shit. I think there's an argument to say that it would be an easy, lazy link, like the Balenciaga one for Antwerp. You knew he was going to be linked again because he's still at Antwerp. You knew Fitzgarden would be in a few headlines over the summer because he's still at Brøndby. Miovski didn't shine at Girona. Could we have predicted last summer he'll be linked with coming back to Scotland if he doesn't smash it at Girona? I think that would have been a fair assumption. So the headlines don't surprise me in any way, shape or form. If there's substance to them, I really don't have a clue. Would I take him at Celtic, though, before an experiment for the J League? Yeah, I would. 100%. Definitely. Miovski would be a player I wanted us to sign. I wanted us to sign last summer. I know 6 million was a bit much for Celtics. They paid 9 for Ida instead. But I would have went with Miovski at that 6 million mark. Michelle's back in again. Lively in the chat today, Michelle. Love it. And she's saying, I think Kenny will be loaned out again. I've got that feeling as well, to be honest with you. Even when I was saying his name, I thought, I wonder if he could be loaned out again. But I mean, there's an argument for Johnny Kenny to then go, oh, why the fucking now? You've brought in Osmond. I've scored goals at Conference League level, professional Conference League level. This boy's scored goals in Premier League too. Are they comparable standards? They might be, by the way. They might be. But he would definitely have a right to have a slight bone of contention with that one if Osmond was sort of fast tracked ahead of him in the race or the race or the battle for a jersey. If he was sort of parachuted in above him based on what Johnny Kenny would have a right to look at his goal record in Europe for Shamrock Rovers, was he at? I can't even remember, man. Honestly, I'm so shit at this. But whoever it was, he was at the Irish team. He scored goals 4 or 5 at conference level, I think, and he was double figures as well. Then he came over to us. I thought he looked decent, something to work with. It's a rough diamond, but it's one of our own rough diamonds. Rather than going every corner of the globe for a rough diamond and just getting sick of watching the transfer budget sort of dwindle away on experiments. But he would have a reason to have his nose out of joint with the Osmond one if he was ahead of him, albeit I wouldn't be surprised to see Osmond, be actually ahead of Johnny Kenny. If they've managed to convince him to leave London, firstly, just, whatever wages you're going to be on Premier League 2 level in England now, let's be honest, we've got to have beaten that to draw him up to Glasgow, and you've got to have promised him some sort of sporting carrot being dangled, and that will be, first team football, I would imagine. Still, you getting opportunities, certainly. He's not left Fulham's development team for Celtic's development team, I don't think. I think he'll be in the first team squad. Let's have a look. What else have we got? There was something else I wanted to. Oh, what about Louis Palmer last night, by the way? Oh, big Louis Palmer, 92nd minute, I think it was, for Honduras. Boom. What do we all stand on him? Everyone's chasing Nicholas Kuhn out the door. Palmer had a good first season at Celtic. Underrated at times, and I think last season he became hated really quickly as well. He's another one the body language experts don't like. He seems to, him and Nicholas Kuhn definitely don't have the body language experts on their side right now. They can't wait to chase guys with brilliant numbers away. I think Palmer was he 20 goal contributions in his first season? Obviously not given a sniff last year and then spent half the season at Olympiacos. Maybe someone could tell us how he did there and why that's not been made permanent. That could have been a good fit. I think we signed him from a Greek club in the first place. He was returning to Greece. The giant of Greek football should have been quite a good fit for him, I would have thought. So maybe he's not performed there, but he certainly was for Honduras last night with that winner. That was an absolute belter. And fair play to him. Fair play to him. AJSC Tech. I mean, you've been here since the start, AJSC Tech. So I just want to thank you for that, mate. And he's saying, getting 10 million offers. It's like an insane dream. I agree, mate. Totally agree. But look, he wasn't ever going to reach that level at Celtic. Totally agree. Punting him was still the right move, even if Genk get 20 million. Amen, mate. Amen. Could not agree more. And Celtic, they'll have 10-15% on that sell on anyway. So let's hope it is 20 million that Genk get for him. But great post there, AJSC. That's class, mate. Purely because I couldn't agree more with it. Do you know what I mean? Is Mark in the chat? Oh, there he is. The judge is in. Hello, Judge. Hope you're good, mate. Hope you're good. Looking forward to doing the TNF tomorrow, of course, with Mark. He's got really shy retiring views on most things Celtic. Michelle's back. There's Mark Kenny. Palmer has fucked it, mate. Lol. I seen the fans over there hate him after last night, even more so. He made only 2 starts on loan. That's surprising. He obviously would have had a decent rep over in Greece. I don't know what the story is with him, mate, but bloody some goal he scored for Honduras last night. But yeah, I can't see him having a future at Celtic, albeit I think I think we were quite quick to judge them. Alan Robertson is convinced the reason for it is he's a number 10, not a winger, no pace. He could work in a different season. Tom Rogic vibes? Jing? Tom Rogic vibes in that number 10? I don't know. Jeez, Michelle. Luis Palma and Marco Tilio both returning loaned out again. Marco Tilio. Michelle, did you have to bring that name into it? Do they have a place? No, they don't. No, they don't. I don't think Luis Palma doesn't. Marco Tilio. If Luis Palma doesn't, Marco Tilio bloody better not. Maybe one of them, yes, until Jota returns and out in the winter. Yeah, it's not the worst. Not the worst, sort of suggestion. But I don't see it. No, no. I think the Tilio one was a bizarre one. What is this? Now P. McLaughlin's bringing all of them out. Lager Bielka, he's still on it. Yes. What do you think of it? Lager Bielka, I'll be honest to you. That foul he got with Dessers, if you remember that, he actually went on to have quite. No, in fact, no, he didn't. I know we kept a clean sheet, but he was fucking shite the whole game. I don't know how we kept a clean sheet that day with him at the back. That back four will never be seen for Celtic again. It was so strange. Yeah, we got a clean sheet at Ibrox. It was bizarre. But Lagerbielke, but it wasn't really. I mean, that Lagerbielke, never a foul, ever in a million years. You'd be screaming if it was the other way around. But it is what it is. I probably didn't say that at the time, so I'm probably contradicting myself. Don't look back at the post-match piss because you'll just catch me out. But yeah, Lagerbielke still ours right now. Again, what did we pay for him? Can anyone remember? Lagerbielke, was he 2 million, 3 million quid? Did you get $1 million for him now? Maybe $1 million, just cut your losses. I mean, oh jeez, so P. McLaughlin is that it? Thiago Home. Yeah, I mean, listen, I could put fucking Rivaldo. I'll start calling myself Rivaldo Boys. It doesn't make me any good at football. I'm being cruel, but fuck it, who cares? I'm trying to get prepped for tomorrow's TNF. But yeah, I mean, I'm not having it that Thiago Home is ever going to be as good as he was made out to be. A lot of the players get hyped up that Celtic are doing because they know they're pissing in the window a lot. They're just guessing, they're hoping. So you get the hype train going, you get all the blogs, all the fan media on side, and get them all excited so they get their clicks, get their likes, all that sort of carry on. It's all true. It's just a wee circus, that shit. They get their likes, they get their hits, they get the fans excited. Then before you know it, Celtic's getting the benefit of the doubt of the player. Then you see the player play and you go, oh, what is this? So Thiago Home, who everyone was absolutely raving about, no pointing any fingers at any of the fan media journals, but fucking miles off it, mate. He'll know I don't know what we paid for him, 2.5 million. He can go as well, mate. It's still gonna happen for him. I mean that was that 9 signing summer. Wow. Who was the Liverpool centre back we had as well on loan? Fucking hell. Dan someone or something. I can't remember his name, who cares? Nawrocki, Michelle's now bringing up as well. I wonder if we'll see more of him this year. See, just seen him towards the tail end last year and he didn't do bad. There's been links. Hugh Keevans was saying he thought he was close to going back to Poland. He just sort of dropped it in quite casually in the middle of talking last week on the old Super Scoreboard Hour shows that they're doing now. But Nawrocki, for me, I would keep him. I would definitely keep him. I think you need to remember these guys need to settle in. I don't remember him doing. I think it gets exaggerated. See, when you get beaten one game by a Scottish team now, there's always Julian. Bullied by Livy every time he played. That game seemed to overcome like the 10 others that he'd played shit hot in a row before it or whatever. I mean, I thought Julian was a very, very good defender for Celtic. And Nawrocki, Rocky, whatever you want to call him, he's got this Pittodrie jinx now where it's like, I got bullied at Pittodrie. And it just sticks. Mud just sticks like that. And people can't get over it. Every other time I've seen him play, I thought he's looked pretty decent. I've got a feeling we'll see more of him. And I like the fact that Brendan, one of his great strengths as a manager is he cuts most of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, he seems to be able to cut sentiment and emotion out of his decisions. And that, not just emotion and sentiment, but he's able to cut pride out the road as well. So he's not just going to dig his heels and go, I didn't rate him at first, so I'll not play him. He showed that with the usage of Nawrocki, last season towards the end, that maybe he's willing to give that another chance. And I think for me, that's just good management. If you think that's what he's doing in training, that it's elevated him into the contentions for a place when one of the first choices aren't available, cool. I'm all for that. I'm trying to call him Dan something. It's Nathan Phillips. Nat Phillips. That's what it was. Nat. That's what they're calling him. I've got Dan in my head. FSR and coefficient means now we can't afford too many of these Agabielkas or Nawrotskis. I mean, we can't afford them, Mark. But what we've got to do is make sure that they're going to be coming in and affecting the first team. We can afford £5-6 million players. I mean, there's still 100 million cash sitting there. Whether we can attract them, I think, would be more my concern, buddy. But in terms of just splashing it willy-nilly, and as I say, pissing in the wind when you make the signings and just get a feel-good factor done by all the usual suspects, sort of hype it up and get away with murder at the time when you're not getting real targets in. That can't carry on. It's got to be quality that's coming in now. I think it will be. I don't think it'll be the craziest, busiest summer that we ever see from Celtic. I'm expecting 3 or 4 to come in, but 3 or 4 players. We've got, I mean, I say that, we've got Doohan in, we've got Kieran Tierney in, Nygren ranks imminent. That's 3 already. So am I saying just, is that it? Maybe one more? Nah, it'll probably be 5 or 6 then when I think about it. Damn. That's a lot though every summer to be doing that, is it not? It's every club saying 5 or 6 a summer. Maybe they do now. Mark coming in again. Good to have you on, Mark. I'm looking forward to chatting with you tomorrow. As I say, there's no more smoking gun moment that harps back to Nawrocki being labelled not good enough. Yeah, quite often I think they say Pittodrie, mate. Quite often I think you'll find they do. He says slow to the pass, etc., but he's a good defender. Next level to what we have? No. That's fair. I mean, is he the next level? Probably not. But I think he'll stay, though. I do think he'll stay. Phil McGinley, too many folk nowadays not relying on the good old eye test. And I should know I've got 4. Too much XG and sports science used to pick signings now in the modern game. I think it's a great point, Phil. The modern game, there has to be an eye test involved as well. I think stats should be used as useful evidence to support points that you make, but the points that you make should be done with the eye test initially. Then you see the stats back it up. Great. I know what I'm watching. If you're just going to the stats and then watching it based on what the stats are telling you, you're watching something different on the pitch and you're not going to have a true opinion of what it is that you're watching, as Peter McLaughlin sort of alludes to. You know, watching a game on TV, watching at the stadium, there's a big difference. Sometimes you just monitor one player's movement for 5 minutes a game. I'll give you a great example of that, mate. Rangers came to Celtic when Lenny was interim manager, not the second time, the first time when he was the young pup coming through. Remember he won 8 out of 8 league games? I think we won the game 2-1. Lee Naylor free kick. Was it just 1-0? Fuck knows. Robbie Keane played. He was brilliant. And I did a lot of that. I was at the game and just watching his movement. Honestly, I thought, wow, he's such another level for what we've had for so long since Henrik. Maybe Craig Bellamy. But his movement off the ball, it was amazing to watch, man. Absolutely amazing. I know what you mean. You can monitor one player and you can see sort of different aspects of the game that you're going to get the benefit of in the telly. I personally like watching it on the telly because I like seeing replays of stuff. So I'm like, what happened there? Oh, I thought that's what happened. That's what I'm tempted to say after I see a replay. I thought that's what happened. Is it fuck? Right, okay, we'll leave it there. Good to jump back on for a wee while. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks for the comments. I will try to be coming on most days. If I've not got a wee tag team partner to join me like Mark tomorrow or Jonathan was on Tuesday, I'll just dive on for a wee 25 minutes, half an hour, say hello to you all. And as I say, we might just start doing a wee feature called Browsing the Bogs. I'll remember how to do the old share scroll. Wait the new. Is it this how you do it? Look. Here's a wee sneaky peek of what it could look like. So I could just do a bit of this. And we just bring up the Celtic news now and we can sort of pick a headline, click in the link. We can read it or just read the headline and get everyone's thoughts on it. That could be quite fun. So we'll do some browsing of the blogs. I'll probably do that on Friday. Day 10 of my detox now, so all this time to kill. Been playing squash a lot. A lot of squash getting played, but this is a lot easier than running about at 37 years old around a squash court, I tell thee. Right, okay, I'm getting the fuck out of here before I talk any more shite. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you all later.